We know the Southeastern Conference has dominated college football the past couple of years, but will their run of championships continue this season? Alabama currently ranked as the #1 team in the country, but how much will the Tide be affected by the Mark Ingram injury? Can Ohio State run the table to get back to a BCS title game? Before the season begins tomorrow night, we're going to try to figure out who has the inside edge. And with your first look at possible bowl matchups, let's bring in ESPN college football analyst Jeremy Bloom and ESPN.com's Mark Schlabach. And guys, if you nail this, all I can say is I'm very impressed. The degree of difficulty very high here. And let's start out west, the 2011 Rose Bowl, Big Ten versus Pac-10. Mark, who plays in that game?
I've got Iowa and Oregon, Jay. I think Chip Kelly, the Oregon coach, does a great job with quarterbacks. I think even without Jeremiah Mazzoli, with USC being on probation, ineligible, I think Oregon wins the Pac-10. I've got Iowa finishing second in the Big Ten. They play Penn State, Wisconsin, Ohio State at home. I think they lose one of those games.
All right, Jeremy, who do you like in the Rose Bowl?
Well, this is one where Mark and I actually agree. I like Oregon and Iowa. When you look at Oregon, I mean, this is a team that's returning 17 starters from a good year last year. I think that they're going to stumble early, but against Tennessee. But I think that that's going to serve as a wake-up call. I actually have them winning the Pac-10, and then Iowa. They are stacked, and this is a surprise pick for probably a lot of people. But I have them winning the Big Ten and beating Ohio State. I like Iowa. They got a ton of talent.
All right, let's move to the Fiesta Bowl. Who do you like there? Jeremy, we'll start with you.
I like TCU and Pitt. I mean, when you look at TCU's schedule, there's not a lot of games that they could stumble on. They're returning 7 starters from a #1 defense last year, and I think that they're going to get that at-large bid. And Pitt, when you look at the Big East, it's just not as talented as it once was. Dave Wannstedt, great coach. They have one of the most dynamic young running backs in the country in Dion Lewis. 1,800 yards as a true freshman. He's poised for a breakout year and a ton of talent at Pitt.
It's going to be fun to watch him this year. Mark, do you agree with Jeremy on either of those?
I agree with him on Pitt, Jay, but I've got Pitt playing Nebraska. I think Nebraska is going to win the Big 12, their last season in that league. I think Jared Crick coming back on defense. I think the black shirt defense is back. They play Texas at home. They get Missouri at home. They don't play Oklahoma during the regular season. I think Nebraska wins the Big 12 and plays Pitt in the Fiesta Bowl.
All right, that'd be a nice way to leave the conference for Nebraska. Let's go to Miami now, guys, and we'll talk about the Discover Orange Bowl. Mark, who do you like there? Who do you have?
Well, this is my big leap of faith. I've got Virginia Tech against Notre Dame, Jay. I think Jeremy's going to have fun with this one. I think the Hokies will win the ACC. I think they'll start the season 8-0, but they open November with games against Georgia Tech at home, at North Carolina, at Miami. I don't think they can run the table. Great backfield with Ryan Williams, Darren Evans, Tyrod Thomas. I think you look at Notre Dame, they play only 2 ranked opponents right going into the season, Pitt, Southern Cal. I think if they win the games they're supposed to win, like BC, Michigan, Michigan State, I think Brian Kelly could have a huge first year in South Bend.
All right, and that means, though, that you think that Boise is going to lose to Virginia Tech. So, Jeremy, I'll let you take this one. What do you think? Who's in the Discover Orange Bowl?
Yeah, Notre Dame's not quite ready, but I like Virginia Tech, and it's interesting because I actually have them winning the ACC. I think Miami's a more talented football team, but Miami's got a gauntlet of a schedule at Clemson, at Pitt, and Florida State coming home for the 5th game of the season. I like Virginia Tech here, and I also like Nebraska at large. I don't have them winning the Big 12. I think that's for Oklahoma, but Bo Pelini in his 4th year has the Nebraska headed in the right direction.
All right, let's go to the All-State Sugar Bowl now, and Jeremy, we'll let you start there. Who's in?
Well, this is going to be a surprise, and Mark may have fun with it, but I have 2 teams that most polls have either 1 or 2, Ohio State and Alabama. I think Alabama has a great year. I think they're going to stumble late against their in-state rivals, Auburn. On the other side, Ohio State, I mean, Kirk Herbstreit's picking them to win, but I think Ohio State's going to get surprised. Second game of the season against Miami. Miami's going to send a ton of talent up there, and I think they stumble late to find themselves in the Sugar Bowl.
Interesting, Mark. He has Ohio State and Alabama, but not in the game that everybody thinks they'll play in. What do you have for the Sugar Bowl?
I got Florida and Texas. I think they both finish runner-up in their league. Don't think they fall off the map. I think Johnny Brantley, Garrett Gilbert are both going to be big-time quarterbacks this season.
All right, let's pay it off now. The BCS National Championship game. Mark, we'll let you go first. Who do you have and who do you like to win it?
Well, really going out on a limb here, Jay. I got Alabama against Ohio State. Unfortunately, your Buckeyes playing another SEC opponent.
Yep.
I think the SEC wins a BCS National Championship. What is it now, 5 seasons in a row?
Yeah, we've seen this movie before. Jeremy, you had an OSU-Alabama Sugar Bowl, so who's in your title game? Who do you have there?
Well, talking about a movie, I have a repeat of 2007 Fiesta Bowl. Oklahoma versus Boise State. I love underdogs. I love humble champions. I don't really love the blue turf, but I love Boise State. I think they run the table. They get the at-large bid. They capitalize on a couple of the big teams losing to get in the national championship game. And I think Oklahoma's going to be there. I think they win the Big 12. I think they beat Texas in the Red River Shootout. They make it to the national championship game. And who doesn't want to see a repeat of that game? That was one of the best college football games anybody's ever seen.
Yeah.
That'd be an exciting national championship.
Watch out for the trick plays. Now, the question is, Jeremy, are you bold enough to go out on the limb and say that Boise State will win the national title?
No, I think Oklahoma gets the revenge from the old Jared Zabransky Statue of Liberty to Ian Johnson, and Ian Johnson running it in, the whole proposal to the girlfriends.
Right.
There won't be the storyboards in this year's national championship, but Oklahoma's going to get the revenge and bring that back to the Big 12.